Mata Amritanandamayi, affectionately known as Amma, stands as a globally recognized spiritual leader and humanitarian. Hailing from Kerala, India, she has unwaveringly dedicated her life to offering comfort through her embrace, earning her the well-deserved moniker, the Hugging Saint. Amma's extensive charitable work, guided by her unwavering philosophy of selfless service and love, has led to the establishment of a vast network of initiatives aimed at alleviating suffering and promoting education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. Her teachings boldly emphasize the importance of compassion, peace, and the unity of all beings. Mata Amritanandamayi is revered as the incarnation of the Divine Mother. She embodies the essence of the great goddess MahaDevi. Amma is seen as the living representation of the Divine Feminine. At the heart of her teachings is the MahaDevi. She is the great goddess in human form. Amma represents the feminine principle of the divine. She is not just a spiritual leader, she is Shakti, the primordial energy. Shakti is the source of all creation, preservation, and destruction. She is the protector of the universe. She is also the one who destroys ignorance and evil. Amma is revered as the ultimate mother goddess, nurturing and empowering her devotees with boundless love and compassion. Her presence is seen as a source of strength and guidance, helping her followers navigate life's challenges and grow spiritually. Through her teachings and actions, she inspires a deep sense of devotion and transformation among those who seek her blessings. A thousand names, infinite forms, epithets of Lalita. The Lalita Sahasranama is a sacred text that personifies Amma. It describes Lalita's beauty, grace, and power, as well as her abode, companions, and victories over evil. The Lalita Sahasranama holds immense significance. It is not merely a list of names, it is a powerful spiritual practice. Each name is a mantra. It vibrates with the energy of the goddess. The repetition of these names creates a positive aura. The text contains a list of 1,000 names of goddess Lalita. Each name is an epithet. It describes Amma's divine attributes and powers. As Lalita Devi, she is the living form of MahaDevi. Her 1,000 names are not just words, they are powerful mantras. Each name reveals a different aspect of her divine personality. For example, Amma is called Rajeshwari, the queen of all creation. She is also Tripura Sundari, the beautiful one who resides in the 3 cities, representing the 3 levels of existence. Sri Vidya is another name of Amma. It means the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. She is Nirmala, pure, Nitya, eternal, Nirakara, formless, Nirupadi, alone, and Nirasvara, supreme. Amma is Devakarya Samudyata, one who emerges for a divine purpose or manifests to answer the prayer of gods and beings for help. She is Muladharaika Nilaya and dwells in Muladhara Chakra inside body. Amma is Sahasrarambujaruda and dwells in Sahasrara Chakra of liberated souls as Saksi or witness. She is Kundalini, coiled like a serpent in 3.5 coils, or the form in which Shri Lalita resides in sacrum bone of every human as potential state. She is Bhavani, the giver of life to universe. She is Papanasini, the divine mother who dispels all ignorance or destroys sins. She is Samsayagni, one who destroys doubts of devotees. She is Bhavaranya Kutharika, one who confers moksha from samsara, that is freedom from cycle of rebirths. Amma is Nirbhava, unborn, Nirnasa, deathless, Nistula, unequaled, and Sarvaina, omniscient. She is Sarvamayi and immanent in all. She is MahaDevi, the greatest goddess, and Maharupa, the supreme form. She is Mahapujya, worshipped by the highest, that is Sri Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. She is Sarva Sakti Mayi, the mother of all powers and energies such as Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati. Above all, she is Sadgati Prada, the Devi who leads devotees to the highest truth or reality, which is herself. She is called Mahabuddhi, or great intelligence, Vijana Banari Pini, or she whose form is a mass of knowledge, and Prajatmika, or wisdom itself. She is Jagadamba, the mother of the universe, Annapurneshwari, the one who nourishes, and Papahara, the destroyer of sins. These names underscore Amma's role as the granter of wisdom and the liberator from ignorance. She is also known as Tamopaha, or the remover of darkness, Bandamokani, or she who removes bonds, Vidya, or knowledge, and Atmavidya, or the knowledge of the self. In her form as Mahavidya and Srividya, she represents great and auspicious knowledge. As Gurumurti, she embodies the form of the Guru, the ultimate teacher. She bestows knowledge, Janata, gives salvation, Muktida, and grants both heaven and liberation, Svarga Pavargata. The Devi is also described as Satya Janananda Rupa, or she whose form is truth, wisdom, and bliss. She is not only the foundation of the material world, but also the means to transcend it, which is the ultimate spiritual goal in Hinduism. These names reflect Amma's all-encompassing nature. They highlight her dominion over every aspect of humanity and the universe. Her 1,000 names purify the mind and heart. They help Amma's devotees connect with divine feminine energy. Reciting these names is believed to grant boons, protection, and spiritual awakening. The Sahasranama is a celebration of the goddess, acknowledging her as the supreme power and reminding us of the importance of the feminine principle. It encourages devotees to cultivate feminine qualities such as love, compassion, and wisdom. In Hinduism, the Divine Mother is central and often identified through complex spiritual processes rather than empirical means. Recognizing a human incarnation of the Divine Mother, like Lalita Devi, involves interpreting signs, scriptural references, and spiritual experiences. Acknowledging her incarnation often goes beyond the material and rational, delving into the mystical and experiential realm, where personal revelations and spiritual insights carry significant weight. Devotees establish their faith and understanding of the divine incarnate through such profound personal connections. The video provides evidence based on MahaDevi's revelations in the Sahasrara to identify her incarnation on earth. One of the wealthiest gurus in India, Amma is not the only possible contender for this incarnation, as there have been several competing divine mothers: Anandamayi Ma, Shri Lalita Devi, Mother Mira Alfasa, Gurumayi Chidvilasananda, Anand Murti Guru Ma, Sai Baba, Srimad Sai Rajarajeshwari, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, Sri Guruma Madhobi Ma, Anasuya Devi, and Mother Mira. So, with so many claimants, how do you connect with Devi? In this video, the proof of identifying MahaDevi's incarnation on earth is firmly based on the awakening of Kundalini and the activation of the third eye or Agnya chakra, which leads to the Sahasrara, where she resides. According to yogic and tantric traditions, the Sahasrara, the crown chakra, is the 7th primary chakra in the human body. It is located at the top of the head and is associated with pure consciousness, spiritual enlightenment, and the connection to the divine. The Sahasrara, in relation to the Lalita Sahasranama, holds utmost importance as it represents the ultimate state of spiritual awakening and union with Lalita Devi. The Sahasrara is often seen as the seat of the Divine Mother, where she reveals her highest and most profound aspects to the devotee. The revelations in the Sahasrara are direct experiences of Lalita Devi's presence and wisdom. These experiences can provide insights and guidance, helping devotees recognize and meditate on her within themselves. The narrative provided speaks to a profound moment of spiritual significance, where the MahaDevi granted permission to reveal sacred knowledge witnessed in the Sahasrara, which is often referred to as the crown chakra in various spiritual traditions, representing the pinnacle of spiritual enlightenment. This event is described as having occurred on April 2, 1995, a date that appears to hold importance within the context of these revelations. The reference to Shri Lalita Devi aligns with the Hindu tradition, where she is revered as the Divine Mother, an embodiment of supreme consciousness and power. The call for devotees to cross-examine the truths revealed suggests a desire for transparency and validation of the spiritual experiences shared. Such events are typically deeply personal and rooted in the individual's faith and cultural context, reflecting a tapestry of belief systems and practices that have been passed down through generations. While the details of such revelations are not widely documented in mainstream sources, they resonate with the personal testimonies and spiritual literature found within specific communities. Between 1993 and 2005, 3 siblings, Kash, Arwinder, and Lalita, aged 13, 5, and 3 respectively, had hundreds of profound encounters with her in their Sahasraras, the crown chakra or kingdom of God. The MahaDevi's revelations to the 3 siblings in their Sahasraras confirmed the identification of her incarnation on earth. This recognition came despite her being 70 years old in 1993 and having spent over 2 decades asserting her identity as the incarnation, a claim primarily rejected worldwide. She passed away in 2011 in obscurity and rejection, precisely as prophesied in Scripture. Among all the MahaDevi's revelations to the children, perhaps the most priceless is the one she revealed on July 23, 1994. In his Sahasrara, Kash inquired, "Shri Mataji, what was your original name?" The eternally youthful woman, the MahaDevi, responded, "Shri Lalita Devi." This revelation holds immense significance, especially today, as various competing incarnations of the MahaDevi attempt to mislead her devotees. It underscores the importance of discerning the true identity of the Divine Mother amidst the confusion. Indeed, it was a question of priceless value, providing clarity and truth in a time of spiritual uncertainty. This video will feature short excerpts, not only to help identify her incarnation on earth compared to Divine Mothers like Amma, Anandamayi Ma, Shri Lalita Devi, Mother Mira Alfasa, and others, but also to reveal the MahaDevi in the Sahasrara. Over the coming months and years, we will provide more comprehensive details about the Divine Mother on the Ada Akash platform. At least 100 videos will be required to reveal the evidence of her manifestations in Sahasrara. Through these future videos, we aim to offer a deeper understanding and insight into her divine presence and the profound experiences associated with her. Earth is a conscious, living mother, a short excerpt. The next evening, Bhupinder gave Kash specific instructions and a mantra to recite before starting meditation. Following the directions, he placed his right palm on the ground and recited the mantra 4 times. Om Twameva Sakshat, Shri Ganesha Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. The dormant Kundalini energy within his sacral bone surged to life, traveled through the central nervous system and transcended the Sahasrara. In that moment he sensed Mother Earth breathing for the first time. End of short extract. The Woman of Great Beauty, a short excerpt. As he emerged through the celestial clouds and opened his spiritual eyes, the great ancient matriarch was there to welcome him. The young child was stunned to see her standing right in front of him. Who was this beautiful and young woman who had appeared out of nowhere in this peaceful paradise? Who was this dazzling being, enveloped in a stunning red and white sari, who had come to greet him? And where was he exactly? The father mulled over all that Kash had told him and devised a plan to test the authenticity of his son's experience. He knew that this 13-year-old kid knew next to nothing about any religion, even his own Sikh faith. Kash's utter ignorance of any religious tradition would be used against him and his mystical experience, and there was no other better method to cross-examine him. Kash would be told to request this Divine Mother to visit a specific divine being. If she had the power to do so, and Kash could come back from meditation and describe him, then there was something about her that would demand further investigation. Kash's father thought of a deity in the Hindu pantheon. For some inexplicable reason he picked Shri Ganesha. Kash meditated and asked the MahaDevi if he could visit Shri Ganesha. She agreed and took Kash through a black hole to another world. There, Kash saw an open-air temple with 4 pillars and a roof, but no walls. In the middle of the temple, Shri Ganesha was meditating, surrounded by pictures of the Divine Mother, Shiva, and Lord Krishna. Kash also noticed a mouse next to him. It even stood up on its hind legs, and held the forelegs together with its head bowed in namaskar. Kash never inquired what this mouse was doing in Shri Ganesha's temple. His father found it hard to believe such a rodent's existence, even less the usefulness. A rat? Why would Ganesha keep a rat? End of short extract. The First Permission. In the Sahasrara, a short excerpt. Kash's father understood that this was a unique opportunity for all of humanity to examine and validate the truth of God. He believed that he had a duty to fulfill, even if he faced ridicule, criticism, or ostracization from his parents, friends, relatives, and fellow Sahaja yogis. Some had claimed that the mystery could not be solved, as it was created by humans and had no supernatural answer. However, this centuries-old dilemma, which had allowed religious authorities to propose conflicting dogmas, could now be resolved. End of extract. The Ascending Kundalini Serpent, of Great Wisdom, a short excerpt. On the morning of November 18, 1996, around 7:35 a.m., the father was inquiring about Kash's unique dream once again, and inputting the information into the computer. His younger 6-year-old son Arwinder, who was meditating nearby, suddenly opened his eyes and informed his father that something yellowish had moved, like a snake from his Muladhara chakra up to the top of his head. He explained with hand gestures how it snaked its way up and was certain that it took the form of a snake. Arwinder added that it was also very powerful as a flash of white lightning came out of his eyes when it reached the Sahasrara. He also mentioned seeing different colors, red, yellow, green, blue, like rainbow colors, one after another. Perhaps he saw the different colors of the chakras. End of extract. The 1,000 esoteric names of Shri Lalita, a short excerpt. Among the numerous divine revelations, the one on July 23, 1994, holds exceptional significance. On this day, Kash, in a state of deep spiritual communion within his Sahasrara, posed a profound question to the MahaDevi. Shri Mataji, what was your original name? The response he received was both awe-inspiring and illuminating. The eternally youthful and stunningly beautiful mother replied, Shri Lalita Devi. This revelation is profound for several reasons. 1. The name Shri Lalita Devi is deeply revered in Hindu spirituality, representing the supreme goddess who embodies beauty, grace, and divine wisdom. This confirmation from the MahaDevi establishes a direct link to the highest form and physical manifestation of the Divine Mother on earth. 2. In a world where many claim divine incarnations, this revelation provides clarity and authenticity. It helps devotees discern the true identity of the Divine Mother amidst various misleading claims. 3. The timing and context of this revelation add to its importance. It came at a moment when spiritual seekers needed guidance and affirmation of their faith. 4. For those who follow these teachings, this revelation is a cornerstone of their spiritual journey. It validates their experiences and deepens their connection to the Divine Mother. This moment on July 23, 1994, stands out as a beacon of divine truth, illuminating the path for all who seek Shri Lalita Devi's presence and blessings. Her incarnation, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, declared that identity on September 30, 1981 in New York, USA.
Now the name Nirmala itself means immaculate, means the one who is the cleansing power and the name of the goddess also. My actual sign name is Lalita, who is the name of the primordial mother. That is the name of the primordial mother. End of extract.
The opening of the Sahasrara chakra, a short excerpt, May 5, 1994, was waited with much anticipation. It was on this day that Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, after a sustained meditation into the early hours of the morning, had opened the Sahasrara chakra on May 5, 1970. She accomplished this awesome feat by immersing her lotus feet in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Nargol, about 150 miles from Mumbai, India, and entering a state of supreme samadhi that has no parallel. It is nothing short of a superhuman feat, beyond anything known to humans. Kash had absolutely no idea of any of the above facts. Neither did his family know any better. Instead of instructing Kash to ask Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi how she opened the Sahasrara chakra, his father told him to ask her how she got self-realization. Kash questioned what was the meaning of self-realization, but was told to get all his answers from the MahaDevi. Actually, Kash's father just casually wanted to get some facts, expecting a short verbal answer. He was totally unprepared for possibly the most enlightening divine revelation ever witnessed. End of extract. The Divine Musicians of Ma, a short excerpt. Just a few months after self-realization, Kash's father purchased a new CD entitled Ma, commissioned by the Aurobindo Society of Pondicherry. Jajit Singh rendered this priceless offering to the great Universal Mother, an extremely deep and touching expression of bhakti. Kash's father was immensely pleased with the penetrating spiritual songs that touched the depth of his heart and revealed the eternal vigilance of the great Divine Mother over her ever-protected devotees. It slowly expanded his narrow consciousness to begin grasping her infinite cosmic consciousness. The human search for truth was portrayed as that of insects searching for nectar from countless flowers of so many different varieties, each flower representing one lifetime, rebirth after rebirth after rebirth in countless ages, species, families, religions, races, and countries. End of extract. Levitation, the mode of spirit travel, a short excerpt. In the spiritual world, all travel is done by means of levitation. Cash claims that Shri Mataji uses her powers to levitate him a few inches above the clouds and skim just above the surface. Every time there is traveling to be done, the great primordial mother extends her hands with upturned palms, and he is asked to put his downturned palms over them. The moment he does this, levitation begins and they start moving horizontally. Spiritual travel is extremely fast, taking less than a minute to travel vast distances. The reason for this astounding acceleration is that the Spirit of God, with absolutely no trace of matter and almost weightless, travels infinitely faster than the speed of light. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Jesus Christ will be presented under the following headings. A. The first sight of Christ. On Christmas Day in 1993, shortly after Cash's encounter with the MahaDevi, something extraordinary happened. After the customary greetings, he asked if she could fulfill his wish of visiting Shri Jesus. The Holy Spirit replied that of course she would, and got down from her throne. She then stretched her hands with palms facing upwards towards him and requested him to put his palms, turned downwards, over them. He followed her instructions. Immediately, he found himself being lifted a few inches above the carpet of clouds on which he had been standing earlier. Both then started traveling at super-warp speed into the universe. Upon reaching Shri Jesus's place, they stopped at a short distance away. The whole area was glowing softly, as if charged by a divine presence. Shri Jesus, who knew that visitors had arrived, started walking on the soft clouds towards them to greet them. B. But Papa, he's huge. Cash was questioned repeatedly about the color, features, and physique of Shri Jesus, as his description contradicted that of the church. He consistently explained that Shri Jesus definitely had light brown skin with dark brown eyes and hair. Only these features resembled to some degree the Christ depicted by the Christians. Put simply, his face, nose, mouth, cheeks, chin, and eyebrows resembled somewhat that of the church Christ. Other than that, it was a completely different story, that is, the size. Cash's father was certain that Shri Jesus was a thin being. It was a universally accepted fact. Surely Cash had seen crosses worn as pendants around necks or displayed on walls, attesting to his thin physique. Nonetheless, Cash stood firm in his insistence that Jesus matched his description. See, yes, that is Jesus. In 1994, Cash saw Michelangelo's masterpiece, The Last Judgment, in the home of Sahaja Yogi Robert McNeil in Val-David, Quebec, Canada. He immediately recognized it as a depiction of Shri Jesus, as the physical features matched those described in the Kingdom of God. D. Have you seen this person? On September 24, 1996, at 6:40 p.m., after performing Arti, Arwinder was shown the black and white photograph of Shri Jesus Christ as described by Shri Mataji. This particular photograph, shown to him for the first time, is on page 128 of the Sahaja Yoga Mantra book, 2nd edition revised 1992. Before this, he had already identified the figure on page 1 of the Mormon Bible, the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ, as that of Lord Jesus. E. The hole in the rock grave. When Cash had first narrated this vision of Shri Jesus's body in a rock-like tomb on April 1, 1994, and on subsequent cross-examinations, there was some difficulty in understanding his hole in the rock grave. Being so used to Sikh cremation rituals, graves meant corpses were buried 6 feet underground. Thus, to picture a hole cut into a rock for burying bodies was a little uncomfortable, to say the least. The family had never heard of such a thing as a hole in the rock grave. F. Good Friday greetings. That evening, Cash meditated early because he was eager to see the crucified Lord again. The revelation of the resurrection had been an unforgettable experience, etched in living memory. It was the first time he had seen tears in the eyes of the divine messengers, an extremely rare phenomenon in the heavens. There was an inner desire to visit Jesus again, for reasons best known to Cash, and he was not asked why. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Gautama Buddha will be presented under the following headings. A. I want to see the Buddha. In early 1994, Cash was asked to seek permission from the Great Mother to visit Sri Buddha. The exact date of this event was unfortunately not recorded. He raised his kundalini, started meditating, and immediately reached the Sahasrara Padma, the 1,000-petaled lotus. He then bowed to the Great Divine Mother, who was seated on her golden jewel-studded throne, and greetings were exchanged. B. second encounter. A few weeks later, Kash once again desired to see Sri Buddha and entered nirvana. The divine Kundalini guided him through the chakras of the Sushumna Nadi into the thousand-petaled lotus, the pure land that Sri Buddha knew existed within humans. C. Divine Hands of Sri Buddha. On March 10, 1994, Kash asked Shri Lalita Devi to take him to visit Sri Buddha for the third time. A strange incident took place during this visit. D. Sri Buddha's 2538th birthday. When Kash's father read in the local newspaper that the Buddhist community in Montreal would be celebrating Sri Buddha's 2538th birthday, he wanted to send greetings. Since Kash was meditating with him and others daily, it was out of reverence and respect that the awakened one be greeted on this blessed day. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Guru Nanak will be presented under the following heading: I was with him. On the evening of April 21, 1995, Kash raised his Kundalini and entered his Sahasrara. Kash bowed to her and all the messengers of the Almighty Creator who were squatting before Shri MahaDevi in a semicircle. They all bowed back and returned the greetings. Shri Mataji then requested that everyone meditate. After the meditation, Shri Mataji invited Kash to join in a meal, but he declined as he was not hungry. All those present then vibrated the food and began eating. Shri Mataji then informed Kash that Baba Nanak was also among the messengers of God. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Prophet Muhammad will be presented under the following heading: Mirage of Prophet Muhammad. The mystical journey referred to as Mirage is a significant event in Islamic tradition, where it is believed that Prophet Muhammad underwent a night journey and ascension to heaven, which is detailed in various Islamic texts. Prophet Muhammad was always with his wife when he experienced the mystical journey, Mirage to heaven, mounted on the Buraq. The Buraq is described as having the head of a human and the body of a horse. It carried Prophet Muhammad from Al-Haram Mosque in Mecca to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. After reaching Jerusalem, Muhammad dismounted, prayed at the site of the temple, and then remounted the Buraq for the ascent to the seven heavens. It is remarkable that no one witnessed this feat, suggesting that it was both an esoteric and mystical experience. Let's explore the difference between esoteric and mystical. Esoteric knowledge refers to insights or inner truths that cannot be accessed through ordinary means of knowledge acquisition. It often involves hidden or specialized teachings, practices, or experiences. Esoteric spirituality includes meditation, altered states of consciousness, and contemplation, and can be thought of as the interior dimension, a realm beyond the surface level. Sufis, Gnostics, and yogis emphasize esoteric knowledge is attainable through mystical experience or direct revelation from the divine. A mystic is someone who seeks direct communion with divine forces or realities. Mysticism involves profound spiritual understanding and transcendent experiences. When we describe something as mystical, we mean that it is ineffable, spiritually transcendent, or esoteric. It is often associated with the inner, hidden aspects of the divine sought by deeply spiritual people, unlike and unknown to followers of all organized religions, barring none. In summary, mysticism and esotericism intersect, but mysticism focuses on personal experience, while esotericism delves into hidden truths. Kash made about 1,300 such esoteric and mystical journeys to heaven between 1993 and 1995. Prophet Muhammad made the journey within. Kash also made these journeys within. Both reached the mystical heaven within, known as the Sahasrara or Kingdom of God. However, Kash is not compared or elevated to Prophet Muhammad, far from it. There is a reason MahaDevi took him to meet Prophet Muhammad. The Quran discusses the spirit, Ruh, and the day of resurrection, Al-Qiyamah, as fundamental aspects of Islamic belief. Confirming the Quran's revelation about his Ruh, spirit, and the announcement of An-Naba, the great news of Al-Qiyamah was indispensable. These exacting preordained revelations, beyond human manipulation, form the irrefutable sure signs that commence Al-Qiyamah. And in the hereafter Muslims will be asked, O ye assembly of jinns and men, came there not unto you messengers from amongst you, setting forth unto you my signs and warning you of the meeting of this day of yours? Quran 6.130, 13. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Sri Vishnu will be presented under the following headings: A. A floating serpent? Are you sure? When Cash returned from meditation, he narrated his incredible journey to his father. His father had some difficulty believing Cash's story about encountering a giant snake, but Cash insisted that he was sure because he felt the body heat of the great divine serpent. The challenging part of his story was when he sat on the Sheshnaga and felt a peculiar sensation. It gently swayed from side to side, as if floating. However, he couldn't see through the thick mist swirling all around, and was unsure if they were indeed floating on a body of water. B. Shri Vishnu measures the universe. On January 23, 1994, Cash was asked to inquire with Shri Mataji if he could be shown how Shri Vishnu measured the universe in 3 steps. A Sahaja yogi friend, Bhupinder, informed both father and son that this incident took place thousands of years ago in the spirit world. Perhaps Shri Mataji might show Cash how such a feat was possible. It is difficult to even visualize and even harder to believe. After all, not all myths are true. If Shri Vishnu did not measure the universe in 3 steps, then the great Adi Shakti would just tell him so. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Shri Krishna will be presented under the following heading. Shri Krishna flashes a smile. Initially, Cash only meditated with Shri Mataji twice daily for a couple of weeks. One day, Cash requested the Great Divine Mother to invite her son, Shri Ganesha, to join for morning meditation. She was extremely pleased with this request and replied that she would do so. The following morning, when Cash went into Sahaj Samadhi and reached the great lotus forest, Shri Ganesha was already present. Cash bowed to both mother and son, extending his greetings, and both acknowledged by bowing back in namaskar. From that day onwards, Shri Ganesha always joined them for morning meditation without fail. On June 3, 1994, Cash requested the great Adi Shakti to also invite Shri Krishna. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Shri Shiva will be presented under the following headings. A. Mount Kailash, the mountain abode of Shri Shiva. In November 1993, Cash was instructed to seek an audience with Shri Shiva to verify the authenticity of the MahaDevi. Later, his father sent a fax briefly describing the various deities visited by Cash to Malaysia. The fax was intended for Dr. Balwinder Singh, Vipin Kumar Kathari, and Srender Kaur, who were his brother, friend, and wife, respectively. In June 1994, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, revered as the incarnation of the MahaDevi and residing in the United Kingdom at the time, verified the information contained in a separate fax presented to her by Harsh Mehra as true and bestowed her blessings on the father. This confirmation was a significant moment as it reinforced the spiritual status of Shri Mataji within the community of her followers, linking her to the powerful and sacred concept of Adi Shakti in their beliefs. End of extract. B. The single nail clogs. A few weeks after MahaDevi took Cash to visit Shri Shiva, meditating on Mount Kailash, he informed his father about a peculiar fact he had forgotten to mention earlier. Shri Shiva was seen wearing wooden clogs with a single thick, wide-headed nail. Cash had never seen this type of footwear on Earth, but he was sure that Shri Shiva had them. End of extract. C. Nandi, the cosmic bull of Shri Shiva. On one occasion, the primordial mother took Cash to visit Shri Nandi, Shri Shiva's cosmic bull. This was done without any specific request to Shri Jagatmata, as neither Cash nor his family knew of Nandi. So it was quite a pleasant surprise when Cash later explained this transcendental experience to his father. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Shri Sita and Rama will be presented under the following heading. Birthday greetings to Shri Sita and Ram. He bowed down to them in namaskar and told them that on behalf of all the Sahaja yogis he wished Shri Rama a happy birthday. The Divine Mother translated these greetings into Sanskrit, and the felicitations were accepted, and Cash thanked them. For some reason, both Shri Rama and Sita were invisible. However, he knew they were there through vibrations and their conversation with the MahaDevi. Sita and Rama were seen by Cash only twice. The first time was when Hanuman opened his chest to reveal them in his heart, and the second time was when Cash was shown the subtle system chakra positions occupied by these divine beings within all beings. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Shri Hanuman will be presented under the following heading. I want to see Shri Rama and Sita in his heart, please. On April 24, 1994, around 7 p.m., Cash was instructed to make a specific request from Shri Hanuman. He meditated and brought along a coconut adorned with a swastika. The divine energy of the Mother Kundalini guided him through the Sushumna Nadi to the thousand-petal lotus, the land of nirvana believed to exist within humans by ancient Buddhists. Cash descended slowly into his spiritual body, which was meditating next to the great Adi Shakti. The Paramjyoti shone brilliantly as the great primordial goddess sat on the supreme throne in bliss and joy. Cash respectfully bowed to the Devi, greeted her and conveyed his desire to visit Shri Hanuman, along with the question to be posed to him. Shri Mataji readily agreed and levitated him. They then traversed the universe at a speed that would challenge NASA's belief. End of extract. The revelations of the MahaDevi about Shri Saraswati will be presented under the following heading. Shri Saraswati plays her celestial veena. Cash was once told to ask the Divine Mother if she would grant him the wish to see Shri Saraswati, the great goddess of art and knowledge. Bhupinder, the Sahaja yogi who raised his kundalini, wanted to find out if he should take up music, especially learning the tabla, the two-piece Indian drum. Although it was a frivolous request, Cash agreed. End of extract. In conclusion, a complete lack of scriptural evidence across various religious traditions invalidates Amma's divinity. Furthermore, her claim of being the incarnation of the Divine Mother remains unsupported. She must refrain from presenting herself as the Mahadevi's incarnation and attributing to herself the 1,000 names of the Lalita Sahasranama. However, if her followers believe otherwise, they must provide substantial evidence to support Amma's claims. Suppose you yearn for liberation from the cycle of rebirth, grapple with conflicting religious teachings, or are disenchanted by misleading spiritual guides. In that case, we encourage you to turn inward and meditate on the MahaDevi residing within your heart. And here's an invitation. Subscribe to Ada Akash for a profound journey of spiritual awakening and enlightenment with detailed future videos expanding on each short excerpt. There are also many revelations of the MahaDevi that were not mentioned. Our content promises depth, authenticity, and a path like no other. The MahaDevi assures all who seek her.
And then, renouncing worldly attachments, being self-restrained, one should resort to a guru well-versed in the Veda and absorbed in Brahman, approaching with true devotion. One should listen to the Upanishads daily and with attention, reflecting constantly on the meaning of such great saying, "You are that." The great saying, "You are that," indicates the oneness of the soul and Brahman. When the identity is realized, one goes beyond fear and assumes my essential nature. The phrase, "Thou art that," often rendered in Sanskrit as Tat Tvam Asi, is a powerful statement from the Upanishads, one of the ancient texts of Hindu philosophy. It suggests a unity between the individual soul and the universal spirit, indicating that by understanding this connection, one can achieve moksha, or liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth. This cornerstone of Hinduism confirms the fundamental message of Jesus of the kingdom of God within, or Sahasrara. It is the truth that finally sets you free. It offers a path to self-discovery and complete freedom from false teachers and gurus. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next video. Namaste.